Well, the timing with this movie's name, it just couldn't make it up. But a disaster sequel, Greenland to Migration. Now, one of the hardest genres, I'd say, to pull off when it comes to a sequel. Can this work, or would it just be one of those, it should never have happened? Well, let's delve into it. And here's a spoiler warning. And I hadn't actually watched the original until this year. Now, you've got to get a lot of leeway when it comes to the realism in this. And to be honest, a lot of disaster film, you've got to do that even with the good ones. But it's a family, time's running out, a comet's coming to Earth, they're trying to get to safety. They have a lot of heartfelt moments in there, character development's good. It was actually a surprisingly good movie. I can't say it was an absolute cult classic, but it exceeded my expectations. But this is set 5 years after the original. Now, their aim is to get to the impact crater because apparently that's very fertile, lush, all the good things, the dream. It's the dream. Now, you've got to remember that when the last movie closed, they were opening the doors, and now they've been in there for 5 years for some reason. Okay, again, I'll give it some leeway. But from the get-go, you just don't get the heartfelt moments with the family and by the character building that you got in the original. Okay, Gerard Butler having therapy, that added a bit and not something that I expected to see. You just don't get that level of character development in this, I wouldn't say. I mean, even down to the point where in the first movie, there was an insulin shortage, right? The kid had medical problems. It was like, oh my God, this is going to run out imminently. Now, 5 years later, apparently that's all resolved, not been mentioned, even a quick mention or anything like that. Just paid loads of medicine. And this is quite a hard medicine to manufacture. Again, I'm not saying I expect this to delve into huge, canon, lore, there's all this stuff. But it felt lazy. And look, the last movie had a lot of cliches in it, but equally, there was a lot going for it that wasn't totally typical. I can't say it was this epic original masterpiece. I mean, disaster movies have a certain formula to a degree, otherwise you probably end up not having a disaster movie. So here's a disaster movie that's not a disaster movie, and there's nothing like it. That would be a problem. But this it's generic cliche in a bad way. It just doesn't look like they put anything into this. It feels like Greenland the original one was loved, was oh, this is going to be this thing. We've got this idea for it. This is where they're going to go. We can add stuff in, but we know the general direction of travel and how we want this to come across. This just thought, right, slap bang job. We need a sequel, so quickly produce one and don't spare any thoughts really for it. Yeah, that's how it felt. Because it's literally all the things, it just turned into something akin to The Last of Us. Oh, we watched The Last of Us, or we watched The Walking Dead, have we watched any of these post-apocalyptic stuff? Hey, yo, chuck that together. And I'm not saying objectively, it wasn't an embarrassing film. It wasn't, and if you enjoy these sort of cliche ones and you're happy to watch that, then actually, yeah, probably you will enjoy it to a degree. Wasn't bad that way. It was just dull. It was just humans bad. Every human you come across is going to try and kill you for whatever reason, or rob you, or, oh, humans are actually the biggest danger. But yeah, we've seen that a million times. And I'm not saying kind of couldn't even incorporate that into a good version of a sequel. But it's just all the same thing. Sometimes they're walking a wasteland, then they're not wasteland. How the hell did that work with the whole... Wait, so the impact crater was in Europe and Australia and other far-flung parts of the world, and I'm guessing Asia and blah, 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 been devastated. But now we've got these random lush bits. I mean, that wouldn't have mattered if this movie was good. It would have been oh, I can just suspend my disbelief and go, it was a good movie, trade-off's worth it. What it really comes down to in these is that in the original, we had a lot of things to care about when it comes to the cast, the main characters. We didn't really hear, they didn't add anything to them in here, and we cared about them probably less than when we came out of it. Or some people might have say, for me it was even a little bit less. It was oh, why is this person in charge now? Why is this person doing this? Oh, humans bad. Biggest thing. It's it added nothing, whereas the first one, it did. And you have to care about the characters in these disaster ones, because you don't. It's not like you're oh, this evil comic, the neutral thing, right? So you have to care about the characters, you have to get the sense of urgency. But maybe it comes to the world, but you need a few solid characters where you care about the outcome. The stakes are raised, tension's high. Just didn't get it in this movie, so... It was cliched, it was lazy. I don't mind a few cliches in this, that's the bargain. Don't have a horror film. There are going to be cliches in a horror film. But there's have I just created a generic horror film, or have I got cliches in here where I've added some sizzle to it and given it something to actually make it worthwhile watching and make it worthwhile it being a movie in its own right. This did not do that in the disaster movie category. It was just a post-apocalyptic film that happened to have Greenland 2 slapped on it. But what did you think? Did you enjoy this movie? Did you think, wow, this was a worthy success, or did you think, what did I just spend the last however long I've spent watching this, including the trailers. Assuming you watched it in the cinema or are going to watch in the cinema when you watch this review. But let me know what you think in the comment below. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. If you want more content from this channel, it's always appreciated. Until next time, I'll see you later.